Let me ask you something straight up. Are you still training your biceps the same way you did 20 years ago? If the answer's yes, don't worry. You're not alone. Most guys over 40 are still stuck in that same old loop. Same barbell curls, same concentration curls, same preacher bench. The problem is, your body isn't the same. Your recovery isn't the same. And let's be honest, the results sure as hell aren't the same either. What used to give you size now gives you stiffness. What used to bring a pump now brings pain. And you're left wondering, is it me? Am I just getting old? No, man. It's not age. It's the mismatch between how you train and who you are today. You see, when you're younger, you can get away with sloppy form, ego lifts, and exercises that fight against your joints. But once you hit 40, everything changes. You've got to stop chasing numbers and start chasing precision. Strategy beats intensity. Efficiency beats volume. And technique? That's the new heavyweight. But no one tells you that. You walk into the gym, and everyone's still preaching the same moves from the 90s like they're sacred. No one talks about how those classic exercises, the ones in every old-school arm routine, might be wrecking your elbows, ruining your symmetry, and keeping you stuck in a plateau you can't even see. It's not about giving up. It's about waking up. Because when you finally cut out the junk movements, when you stop forcing your body into positions it hates, and when you start using exercises that actually work for your frame, the results come roaring back. Bigger arms, better control, zero pain. This video isn't just about 3 bad exercises. It's about reclaiming your training. It's about understanding your body in this stage of life and giving it what it actually needs to grow. I'm not here to baby you. I'm here to show you exactly what's holding you back and what to do instead. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels, if you're ready to finally make your arms respond again, this is it. This is the turning point. If this is already hitting close to home, hit that subscribe button. Because what's coming next might just change the way you train forever. Why the barbell preacher curl isn't as effective as you think. At first glance, preacher curls look legit. Special bench, strict form, total biceps isolation. It feels like you're training like a pro. And honestly, that's exactly why so many guys over 40 are still glued to it. It looks controlled. It feels safe. But here's the truth. This move is quietly holding you back. And depending on how long you've been doing it, it might already be causing damage. The problem starts with the setup. When your arms are pinned against that angled pad, it locks you into a very specific range of motion. That might sound like a good thing, but it's not. That position puts your biceps under extreme stretch at the bottom of the movement, especially when you fully extend. And if your tendons are already inflamed or tight, like most guys over 40, that stretch turns into strain. Over time, that strain turns into injury. And guess what? At the top of the movement, the exact opposite happens. The muscle relaxes. You get a fake sense of effort because your arms are flexed and your veins are popping. But the tension's gone. The load shifts off your biceps and the stimulus disappears. That pump you're feeling? It's surface level. It's temporary. It looks great, but it doesn't translate into real growth. Not the kind that lasts. The barbell adds another layer of trouble. You're stuck with a fixed grip. That means your wrists and elbows have zero freedom to move naturally. And when one arm is stronger, and one always is, it takes over. Slowly but surely, you build a bigger imbalance. One arm leads, the other lags. And that symmetry you've been chasing for years? Gone. Let's be real. Preacher curls feel like a smart choice because of their name, their history, and how strict they look. But just because something is classic doesn't mean it's good for you right now. Your body isn't the same as it was at 25, and movements that ignore your joint health, they're not just ineffective. They're dangerous, especially when the pain creeps in so slowly, you don't even realize it's the exercise that's causing it. And if you're still chasing that burn you get from preacher curls, thinking it means growth, here's a wake-up call. Sensation doesn't equal stimulation. The real work happens in the reps you control, not the ones you rush through for the sake of a pump. After 40, you don't have the recovery window to waste effort on exercises that look cool but deliver weak results. So here's the question. Why stick with an exercise that messes with your elbows, gives you uneven growth, and offers little tension where it counts? Especially when there are smarter, safer alternatives that deliver way more results without beating up your body. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. The next exercise? That one's silently wrecking your wrists, and you probably haven't even noticed. The hidden risks of the straight bar curl. Ask almost any guy what the king of biceps exercises is, and the straight bar curl is gonna come up fast. It's iconic. It looks powerful. It's in every Arms Day program from here to the golden era. But if you're over 40, this movement might be doing way more damage than good. And it all starts with a detail most people never think about. The straight bar locks your hands into one fixed position. No rotation, no adjustment, no natural flow. Your wrists, elbows, and shoulders are forced to move along a rigid path that might not match your body's structure anymore. And here's the kicker. The longer you've been training, the more your joints have changed. That fixed grip becomes a slow, grinding source of wear and tear. Over time, that wear shows up as nagging elbow pain, stiffness in the forearms, or that sharp little zing when you grip something too tight. That's not just getting older. That's inflammation building up from years of mechanical stress. And it's one of the leading causes of epicondylitis, or what lifters call tennis elbow. You don't have to play tennis to get it. You just have to keep forcing your joints through movements that don't fit. And it's not just your joints paying the price. With a straight bar, your dominant arm starts taking over, especially under heavy loads. That means you're building strength unevenly. One side grows, the other struggles to keep up. And symmetry? Gone. This imbalance builds up silently. You don't see it right away. But one day, you catch a side angle in the mirror and think, wait, when did my left arm shrink? Now let's talk form, or lack of it. When the bar gets heavy, what do most people do? They start swinging. Hips drive forward, shoulders pull back. The whole upper body gets involved. But guess what? The more your body cheats, the less your biceps work. You're burning energy, straining your spine, and barely stimulating the muscle you're trying to grow. All pain. Little payoff, and we've got to kill this toxic belief once and for all. Pain is not proof of progress. There's a difference between muscle fatigue and joint stress. One builds you up, the other breaks you down. And once you pass 40, those bad reps start catching up faster than you think. Recovery takes longer. Injuries stick around. And one wrong move can sideline you for weeks. So instead of clinging to an exercise that fights your body at every angle, ask yourself, what's the real goal here? To look strong for 5 seconds in the mirror? Or to train in a way that actually builds strength safely for the long haul? Because the next mistake? It's even sneakier. It looks like the perfect isolation move, but it's quietly stealing your gains from day one. Why it's time to let go of the concentration. Curl. The concentration curl has this old-school vibe that makes it feel untouchable. It's in every vintage training video, every glossy magazine routine, every How to Build Biceps article from the early 2000s. You sit on the bench, elbow pressed against your inner thigh, head tilted down like you're summoning power. It looks intense, but here's the truth. If you're over 40, this move might be quietly wrecking your progress. Let's start with the setup. You're hunched forward, twisted slightly, elbow jammed into your leg, trying to stabilize your whole body just to lift a dumbbell. That's not a training position, that's a balancing act. You're already putting tension on your lower back and shoulder, and the biceps. They're not even in the best mechanical position to fire. You're losing efficiency before the first rep even starts. Now let's talk about the actual movement. Everyone thinks the concentration curl gives you a strong contraction at the top, but the reality is that tension fades fast. The muscle hits a short range of motion where gravity does half the work. It feels like a peak contraction, but what you're really getting is a brief squeeze followed by dead space. There's no meaningful time under tension, and without that, growth stalls. Even worse, this exercise opens the door wide for compensation. Your body starts to cheat without you even realizing it. You roll your shoulder back, you shift your wrist, you lean, you twist. All these little adjustments steal activation from your biceps and dump it onto your tendons. Over time, that's how chronic elbow pain starts. It's not the big lifts that get you, it's the small ones you do wrong for years. And here's the mental trap: the burn. The concentration curl burns, no doubt. But burn isn't progress. Burn isn't stimulus. You can make your biceps scream with terrible form and still get zero results. That pain is more about position than production. It tricks you into thinking you're doing work, when really, you're just going through the motions. Why keep wasting effort on a movement that's uncomfortable, inefficient, and borderline risky? Especially when there's an alternative that gives you better tension, longer range, safer form, and actual hypertrophy benefits, all without the circus act posture. Because when you finally drop the old habits and start training with purpose, your arms stop resisting and start responding. And that shift? That's what the next topic is all about. The turning point. Stop training like before. Start growing for real, so now you know. The very exercises you've been loyal to for years, maybe even decades, are the ones that have been slowing you down. Not because they're bad in general, but because they're not built for you anymore. Not for your joints, not for your structure, not for your goals, and definitely not for your age. But here's the good news. This isn't the end, it's the beginning. This is the part where things finally start to make sense, where you stop chasing that old-school grind that leaves you stiff and frustrated, and start training with actual strategy. You don't need more weight, you need more intention. You need movements that fit the body you have now, not the one you had 20 years ago. Because here's the truth. No one tells you. Your body can still grow. Your arms can still respond. You just need to give them the right environment. And that starts with exercises that don't just look good on paper. They feel good in your joints, challenge your muscles, and deliver real, measurable gains without breaking you in the process. This next part? It's not just a replacement list. It's a new blueprint. These 3 biceps movements are designed to maximize tension, improve symmetry, and protect your joints, all while hitting your arms harder than the old-school lifts ever did. And the best part? You can start them right now, no matter where you train. This is your reset button. No more pain, no more wasted reps. Just clean, focused work that actually moves the needle. So let's dive in and start with a move that stretches your biceps like no other and forces them to grow from the very first inch. Exercise 1. Inclined dumbbell curl, the cleanest stretch for real growth. This isn't just a safer version of the concentration curl, it's a complete upgrade. The inclined dumbbell curl changes the game by hitting your biceps from an angle they rarely experience. And that's exactly why it works so well. You're not just lifting a dumbbell. You're forcing the muscle to stretch, activate, and control from the very first rep. Here's what makes it special. When you lean back on the bench, your arms naturally hang slightly behind your body. That position places your biceps, especially the long head, in a fully lengthened state. And when you start the curl from there, there's zero momentum. No cheat reps, no shoulder swing, just pure muscle contraction all the way through. That stretch at the bottom? It's brutal, but in a good way. It forces your biceps to engage under tension, not just when you're flexing at the top, but right from the start. And when you control the lift up, hold the peak, and slow down the descent, you unlock a level of stimulation that traditional curls just can't touch. Another win? The back support. Since your torso is fixed against the bench, there's no way to use your hips or spine to help the weight up. That eliminates compensation and keeps the stress exactly where it should be, in the muscle. It teaches you control. It builds discipline. And over time, that's what creates separation and shape in your arms. You can also tweak this movement for your mobility level. If a deep incline is too much at first, adjust the angle until you find your groove. As your flexibility improves, you can increase the angle to challenge your range even more. This makes it one of the most adaptable and sustainable exercises in your entire arsenal. And the best part? You don't need a fancy setup. 2 dumbbells, 1 bench, clean form, and full control. That's it. No tricks, no noise, just real work with real return. But if you thought this was powerful, wait until you see what happens when you add constant tension from a totally different direction. Exercise 2. Cable curl. Constant tension, maximum control. If you've ever felt like your barbell curls get easier in certain parts of the movement, you're not imagining it. That's the problem with free weights. They rely on gravity, and gravity isn't always on your side. But with cable curls, the resistance stays with you from start to finish. No dead zones, no rest, just pure, uninterrupted tension. That's what makes this exercise so powerful, especially if you're over 40 and want smart, effective training. When you use a cable, the line of pull stays consistent throughout the entire rep. That means your biceps are working at every inch of the movement, not just at the top or the bottom. It's like keeping your muscle on the whole time. You also get something priceless: control. You're not locked into a bar. You can use a rope, easy attachment, or even handles for a more natural grip. That small tweak makes a huge difference. It lets your wrists move freely, reduces torque on your elbows, and protects the exact joints that usually take a beating with traditional curls. Another underrated benefit: customization. You can adjust the cable height, switch between bilateral and unilateral work, or even change the tempo and angle to match your mechanics. This gives you a ton of variety, not just for the sake of novelty, but to keep the muscle adapting without overstressing your connective tissue. And just like with the inclined curl, the magic is in the execution. Go slow. Control the lift. Squeeze at the top. Then resist on the way down like you're fighting gravity in slow motion. That eccentric tension, that's where the growth lives. Especially for guys in their 40s, where quality beats quantity every time. Cable curls strip away the ego. They demand patience. They reward precision. And the best part? You feel the difference immediately, not just in your pump, but in how much more connected you feel to every rep. But if you think this is tight, wait until we trap your biceps in a position where they have no escape. Zero momentum, zero help. Just raw contraction from start to finish. Exercise 3. Spider curl. Pure isolation. Zero cheating. This one's a hidden gem. You won't see it often in big box gyms, and most beginners have no clue it exists. But for guys over 40 who want serious results without wrecking their joints, the spider curl might just be the smartest biceps move you're not doing. Yet. Here's the setup. You lie face down on an incline bench, chest supported, arms hanging straight down in front of you. From this position, there's no momentum, no body sway, no shifting your hips or swinging your shoulders. You're locked in, and that's exactly why it works. Your biceps are isolated and exposed. Every inch of the rep is controlled. Every contraction is pure. Because your arms hang freely in front of you, the muscle is loaded throughout the entire range of motion, even at the very top. Unlike preacher curls or barbell curls where tension drops off, the spider curl keeps the muscle under stress the entire time. No rest, no shortcuts, just deep, consistent work that forces growth. It also forces you to slow down. You can't rush this movement. If you try to cheat, the form instantly breaks. That's why it's such a powerful teaching tool. It trains you to feel the muscle, not just move the weight. And when you add a pause at the top, or extend the eccentric phase, that's where the real gains live. Not in the weight, but in the precision. Another massive bonus? You can train unilaterally, one arm at a time. That makes it perfect for correcting imbalances. The weaker arm can't hide behind the stronger one. It has to carry its own load. And over time, this leads to better symmetry, more balanced strength, and a cleaner physique overall. And don't worry if you don't have a spider curl bench. You can easily improvise. Use the reverse side of a preacher bench. Use an incline bench. Use cables with your torso hinged forward. What matters isn't the equipment. It's the angle, the isolation, and the control. This movement strips away all the noise. It's just you, gravity, and your biceps, with nowhere to hide. And when you train like that, you don't just look stronger, you become stronger. Now that you've got the tools, let's lock this in. Now you know. Those exercises that felt so familiar, the ones that were part of your routine for years, they weren't helping you anymore. They were holding you back, stealing your gains, chipping away at your joints rep after rep, all while you kept pushing, wondering why things just weren't clicking. But today, you broke the cycle. You stopped training on autopilot and made a decision most guys never make: to evolve. Because after 40, it's not just about muscle, it's about longevity. It's about preserving the machine while still building the muscle. And that takes more than brute force. It takes awareness, precision, discipline. This isn't about giving up what worked in the past. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you. It's about stepping into a smarter version of yourself. One that doesn't just train hard, but trains with purpose. So the question now is simple. What's the one thing you're changing in your training after this? Drop it in the comments. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this video gave you at least one aha moment, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let's keep building this together. And if you want to dive deeper into the other silent mistakes that are killing your biceps gains, check out the video on the screen right now. We break down the top 10 most common biceps errors and how to fix each one with clear, simple tweaks. Thanks for watching, and God bless, my friends.